Hi everyone, it's Paul here again from the Bloodied Hex. Today I'll be explaining another Titan for the board game Hoplomachus. The Titan I'm explaining today is Pallas. So here's his card here. He's a 3-star difficulty rating. He starts with 5 health. He's got an attack range of 1 and his Titan dice, he rolls a d6, black dice, 2 greens, blue dice and 2 yellows. So let's move on to the Titan details. So Pallas starts with 4 pillars under his control, which fire arrows across the arena based on the Titan dice roll. Arrows will fire from the pillars that can shoot in the direction defined by the d6 roll and the die roll key, which is shown up here. Pallas can only be damaged by active shard pillars. He ignores damage from basic attacks, alt attacks, and skills, and he cannot be stunned. If Pallas is hit by a unit's attack, he is knocked backward 1 hex if available. Player's choice if there is more than 1 hex is an option. So I'll move on to Titan shards now. The Titan shards control pillar targeting. Inactive pillars targeting a player's units, and active pillars target Pallas and his crowd-favoured gladiators. So what this is all, these two are basically explaining is when he rolls, when the Titan rolls, he also rolls a d6. So just say he's rolled a 1. Now we look at the die roll key up here, and the 1 is in this direction here. So you can think of the shards as arrow towers. That'd probably be the best way to think of them when you're playing against this Titan. So they all fire arrows in this direction at the moment. So any of my units or the champion in that direction will get hit for 1. So they'll get hit. So this archer here, because he's in the direction of 1 on the die roll key, he gets hit for 1. Now, when you're playing against this Titan, your job is to knock out these towers. And once you knock out these towers, they become your tower. So you get to turn them over, and then they fire arrows for yourself. So then they'll hit the Titan and any of his crowd-favoured gladiators that he's summoned out into the arena. So you can move these towers around, but I'll explain that in shortly. So I'll just leave that there. So we'll move on now. Oh, and one more thing is when we were talking about up here where it says he can't be damaged by any of our units, but he can be pushed back. So we've got the archer here. So let's just say he's here. If the archer fires his basic attack and it's successful, so it doesn't matter if it's 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, it doesn't matter. It doesn't do any damage to the Titan, but it does push him back in like a straight direction. So that just trying to keep, you'd use that if he was getting close to your champion, just to push him back 1. So that's when you'd use that. Okay, so we'll move on to pillar setup. So pillar setup, place 5 health. So we've placed 5 health here on each pedestal hex. And the pedestal hexes are shown here in blue. There's 4 pedestal hexes around the arena. So once a pedestal hex's health is gone, the shard turns active and the player immediately places it on any arena hex other than the Titan center hex, along with 5 health. So this is the Titan hex. So if we've come on to the board here and we've, just say we're here and we're doing damage against this pillar and we've knocked out all its health, so we've taken away all its health after a couple of attacks, we flip the shard over and now it's active. So still think of it as a arrow tower. So, but the good thing about this is we can put it anywhere in the arena except for the middle. So we could have it on one of these inner deployment hexes. We could have it over here. We could have it over here. Anywhere you want to put it, you're entitled to put it, except for the center square. So that's how that works. And then once that's active, when the Titan rolls his d6, that tower, any arrows coming from there, they don't do damage to us, but they do damage to the Titan and any crowd-favoured gladiator that comes out. Anyway, I'll just put this back and we'll keep moving on. So pillar arrows hit the first opposing unit in the direction they fire for 1 damage. They will bypass friendly units if they are in the way and will always hit. If an active shard pillar is defeated, the shard turns inactive and is returned to an open pedestal hex with 5 health. Now, this is a good point. I just want to go over this just quickly. So we've got we'll use this one. We'll put him. So we've taken out this pillar up here. Now it's ours. I can put it anywhere I want. So just say I put it here, and just say my archer is here. And then we've rolled, let's say a 6. Okay. So we've rolled a 6. Well, the Titan on his turn, he always rolls the d6. So he's rolled his dice and it's come up with a d6. Now this tower, these towers fire for him still. So 6 is this way. So this one doesn't hit anyone. This one doesn't hit anyone. This one doesn't hit anyone. But then we've also got to look at our tower as well. Now our tower will fire past our unit. Our unit won't take any damage and it'll hit him. So even though it's firing past our unit, we don't take any damage. And it always hits the first opposing unit. So I'll show you another case. So say he's done 2. There's a 2 here. We've got our champion here, and we've got an archer here. This tower will hit this guy first, and he won't hit our champion. So it's always the first unit that it hits. It comes across. Okay, one more thing I'll quickly go over. So sometimes you might come across this in the game. We've earned a foothold here. And we've got 3 health, and we've placed it on one of the pedestal hexes. Now, the Titan's brought out one of his crowd-favoured gladiators, so we'll just bring him out, and he's come across, and he started taking away the health of this pedestal, and he's actually taken all the health. Now, in the rules, it says, down here, it says, if an active shard pillar is defeated, the shard turns inactive, which we've turned it inactive, and it is returned to an open pedestal hex with 5 health. Now, if there's no open pedestal hexes, the shard remains where it is, and you just put another, well, I haven't got any more blue, but we'll take his blue for now. We'll just pretend that these are blue chips. It gets its 5 health back again, and it just remains where it is. You don't have to put it anywhere. Just for when you're playing against the Titan, if he gets the shard back, the tower back, and there's no open pedestal hexes because you've used one of the pedestal hexes for in this case it's a spearman. You just leave the shard where it is. Okay, so we'll move on now, and we'll turn the card over and go over, and we'll look at all his specials. Okay, so we'll just set these aside now, and I'll just quickly reset the shard back, and we'll put him back. Okay, so once again, it's just got the details of the Titan up the top. It's It's got his attack range 1, health 5, difficulty 3, and his dice he rolls. So we'll go on to the special here. So let's say we've rolled a miss on the yellow and a hit, 1 hit on the yellow. It's demand assistance. So Pallas calls for a crowd-favoured gladiator to the Titan Hex if available. This unit always moves towards the closest active shard pillar and then to the weakest unit, and will attack the weakest pillar, and then if there's no pillar, he attacks the weakest unit. After Pallas's each turn. If the crowd-favoured gladiator is currently aiding Pallas, ignore this roll. So at the moment, if the Titan was here, we'd ignore this roll because you only bring out one of his crowd-favoured gladiators if the Titan Hex is available. And as you can see at the moment, it's not available, so we get away with that. But if, let's say he was over here, the Titan Hex is available, so we've rolled the 1, so we have to bring out a random one, so we bring out him. So then we, another thing to remember is if you've already got one out, helping, if the Titan's already got a crowd-favoured gladiator out helping him, we ignore this as well. So he can only have one crowd-favoured gladiator at a time out helping him. So we'll put him back now. Now, we'll move on to if we'd rolled 2 yellow dice. And this is convert pillar. So Pallas turns closest active pillar, Titan shard pillar, inactive and returns it with 5 health to an open pedestal hex. So let's just say we've got an active pillar over here, just here. We've rolled 2 yellows. So he turns the active, so this is the active one, these are the inactive. These are the ones that are going against him. So we turn it inactive pillar. We put his health on there. So we get rid of his because it's basically, once it goes to inactive, the pillar is his. And then he returns it to an open pedestal hex. So we've got an open one here, so it'll go here. Once again, if all hexes were taken, the shard remains where it is. You don't move it. It just stays where it is if all the hexes are taken. Okay, so we'll move on to his move and attack now. So if he's rolled one green dice and a blank on the other, it says move and attack. So Pallas moves 1 hex towards the closest champion and attacks the closest champion, and then if he's not within reach, the weakest unit in range with his basic attack. And his basic attack is a black and a blue dice shown here. So why it says the closest champion is you could be playing a co-op version of the game. But because we're not playing a co-op version, he just moves to our champion. So he would move 1 hex here, and he would do his basic attack. Now his basic attack is a 1 attack range. So lucky for us at the moment, he would miss us and he wouldn't do any attack to us at all. Okay, so if he rolls 2 greens, we go on to this. Rush in. So Pallas moves 3 hexes towards the closest champion and attacks the closest champion. And then if the champion's not within his range, he goes to the weakest unit. And Pallas also grants his crowd-favoured gladiator aid, +2 move this turn if in play. So he moves 3 hexes this time because he's rolled the 2, so 1, 2. So he makes it easy. He only has to move 2 because he's at our champion already. So he would roll the black and the blue dice this time. So he hits us for 1. So we lose 1 chip from that. Okay, also, if he had a gladiator in at the moment, this gladiator would move 2 straight away because he's granted 2. And then when it comes to move the gladiator, he can still do his movement. So in essence, this turn, this gladiator, he's got a speed of 2. And because the Titans rolled rush in, he also gets a bonus 2. So he actually could move 4 this time. Okay, so we'll move this guy back now. Now we'll move on to his special number 2. So we'll move the card up a bit. Okay, so if he's rolled 1 black dice and he missed on his blue dice, we go to pillar arrow. So all pillars fire in the direction indicated on the D6 and the die roll key. Hits first opposing unit for 1 damage. So once again, every time the Titan rolls all his dice, he rolls the D6. So he's rolled that, so that just sits up there, number 4. So he's rolled 1 black. So we look at the towers, we look at the die roll key first. So the number 4 is going this way. So he's got 4 towers that are fighting for him at the moment. So that one misses, that one misses, that one misses, and that one misses. So we get away with it this time. But let's, for the sake of the video, we'll just say this guy was here. So we've rolled the 4 and he'd get taken out for 1. So it just does 1 damage. There, rightio. So we'll go on. So if he's rolled, so that's pillar arrow. So if he's rolled a blue and a black, it hits. So pillar multi-shot. So perform pillar arrow, which what we've just done. Then re-roll the die and perform pillar arrow again. So it's basically pillar multi-shot is just 2 pillar arrows in a row. So he rolled the 4. So we do that. Yes, there's 1 this way. That misses, that misses, that misses. But he copped 1 for the 4. Then we roll it again. Of course I do that because I'm the worst roller in the world. He gets hit again. So we've just performed that twice. So that's how you do that one. Now, if you've rolled a miss on the black, this doesn't happen very often because a black dice is 5 hits, 1 miss. But if you roll the miss and you roll a hit on the blue, it says pillar focus. So opposing pillars within 3 range of the champion or Titan, shoot them for 1 damage each. So let's change this to an active one. So we've taken down this pillar. Now this is how when you do this attack and it's towards the end game, this is really how you put a lot of damage on the Titan. So we've taken out this pillar as well. And that's it. So he's rolled and he's done his. So with this attack here, we don't need to look at the D6 at all. So it's like a focused in attack. So he's rolled the blue and he's missed with the black. Now we just have to count 3 range. So this one, 3. So he's in 3 range, so he loses. So it's just a focused in attack. Nothing to do with the die roll key. He's in 3 of this pillar here, so he cops another one. Now, I'm within 3 of this one, because this is one still his, so I lose 1. Now this 1, 2, 3, so this one hits no one. So we both miss, but this one misses out all of us. So that's pillar focus. Pillar focus is a really good one to roll, especially if you've got a few pillars around him. And yeah, it's like towards the end of the game, and you know, if you roll that and you've got like 2 pillars there, it's really good to put a lot of damage on. Because with rolling this, you seem to miss a lot sometimes. You know, I always, with my luck, it's always there, and I roll that way or whatever, because That's the only way you can defeat him is through the shard towers or the arrow towers, what do I say? But yeah, through the active shard towers, that's the only way you can put damage on. So I hope this explains everything. Please check out Hoplomachus. It's a great game for solo, co-op, or player versus player. I'll put a link in the description below to the Chip Theory website, and thanks for watching.